Right. So, I'm outside. We've just had a link for business. I'm with Gary. Hi, Gary. How you doing? All right?
Thank
Well, Gary, you're from New Glow Lighting. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But what we're doing here is what we call an L4G Soundbite, which is a 10-minute interview, which is a function of Link for Business. So, if anybody that's a member of Link for Business gets a chance to do this, and tonight's your turn. So, tell us a little bit first about where we are. I can see we're at the Falcon Hotel. It doesn't tell us where we are, though. But just give us a quick summary of where you live, where you are, around here kind of thing, and then we'll go straight into New Glow.
Well, I live in Peterborough.
Okay.
This event is in Whittlesea, which is just a little village just slightly away from Peterborough, about 6 miles away, I think it is. Link for Business, which is one of my favourite Link for businesses, I have to say. The company, my company, is based in Yaxley, which is just slightly the other side of Peterborough, but it's all Peterborough based as such, yeah. I've lived here for, too long to mention, a good 30-something years now.
Right.
Come from Scotland originally, obviously. Okay. You may or may not be able to tell with my wonderful accent.
So how long so what you're doing now is New Glow Lighting, which is all about replacing traditional light bulbs with more effective and low energy type bulbs. And this, so how long has New Glow been going?
Okay, so New Glow's been going for about 2 years. Well, actually, it's not about. It's 2 years on the 22nd of July.
Oh, right, okay.
So we celebrated our 2-year anniversary then. I've been in the LED lighting or low energy lighting business for about 7 years now.
Right.
I've got 2 business partners, Thomas Lorimer, who's my brother-in-law, and Colin Hayburn, who is the other business partner. He was my sales manager at the previous business.
Right.
So I've got a lot of experience in LED.
So most people will be aware of LEDs and stuff. In fact, I think nowadays you struggle to buy any other types of bulbs. But I remember when they first came out, they were like £7 a bulb or £9 a bulb, and they, you turned them on, and it was like a faint glimmer in the room, and then with 3 or 4 minutes later you were sort of up to normal sort of rankings. Things have changed a bit, haven't they?
Yeah, well, firstly, those are not LED bulbs.
Right.
They're what's called CFL or compact fluorescent bulbs.
Oh, okay.
So that's
the ones with the coiling.
Yeah. The fluorescent tube.
Yeah.
Now, actually, there's a lot of bad press about compact fluorescents as well, because what happened was compact fluorescents came out. They were very low energy in comparison to your filament light bulbs, your 100-watt light bulbs, or your halogen light bulbs. They were great. They did take a few seconds to warm up and what have you. But the problem was that the big energy companies gave them away free to everybody. If you remember, there was a whole spate where British Gas and electric companies and gas companies, they were just giving away free.
Really? I never got any of them.
Yeah, no, I've got literally everybody in Britain nearly got one.
Right, really?
But what was happening was the government or the lighting industry gave British Gas or the electric companies 80 pence for every light bulb they gave away free, because they wanted to encourage this low energy lighting.
Right, I get it.
The problem was they bought the cheapest, most rubbish light bulbs and made money from that.
Yeah.
So when you finally arrived, you got it for nothing, but it was rubbish. It took 2 minutes to warm up and what have you. Whereas a good quality compact fluorescent low energy light bulb will take about 10 to 12 seconds to warm up.
Right, okay.
LED moved on. The next phase is LED. LED is fantastic lighting. It's a light emitting diode. So it's on a surface mounted diode. So it's a little yellow dot that you tend to see on the circuit board, which gives you the light. Instant light, very little heat, lasts for considerably long. It lasts about 4 times longer than compact fluorescents, and about 10 times longer than filaments or halogen.
So talk me through this. An LED. So we know about LEDs because when the first watches came out, they were light emitting guys, weren't they? Those first, those red ones. Right, so that's an LED. So it's a small bulb, really. It's supposed to be a small bulb, isn't it?
It's not a bulb. No, it literally is just an electric circuit.
Okay, but isn't that what a bulb is?
Well, the bulb is, for example, a compact fluorescent bulb. Has got it's lined with I can't remember what it's lined with. Lined with mercury.
Okay.
A little bit mercury, and it's lined with magnesium as well. So when the electricity comes through, it ignites it, and it causes the light, which is the little tube.
Right.
So there's lots of different elements involved in it.
Okay.
With filament light bulbs and halogen light bulbs, it's older technology.
Yeah.
Again, so it's different banging of diodes, not diodes, particles that cause the friction, which gives you the light.
Okay.
Whereas LED is purely electrical. It is the diode itself that creates light, but it's a much more intense light, and it's a much smaller light, so hence you tend to need a lot of them to create more light.
Okay, so when people buy an LED bulb, what they're buying is, if you like, a whole wedge of these things. So that's what we've got in cars now. So the LEDs in cars are the same principle, are they?
It's all the same principle, yeah.
And then now that I see the traffic lights, same sort of concept?
I mean, LEDs have been going since the early 60s.
Yeah.
I mean, that's when they first started.
Right.
It's only in the last maybe 3 or 4 years that they've become sufficiently efficient and sufficiently cooling technology behind them. Because what happens is they tend to get very warm as well.
Right.
Because you imagine it produces an extreme amount of light.
And it's quite small.
With a very small surface.
Yeah, yeah.
So you needed a very good heat sink to dissipate the heat out the back of them in the light bulbs when you first got them. It doesn't happen anymore. You spread the lights over the diodes. The heat sinks are much more efficient.
Yeah, yeah.
They don't get as warm, so it's a much safer, better, more efficient technology.
So, and most people will think to themselves, okay, I'm going to place that light bulb. But I saw something you showed us the other day, which is effectively like a square panel. You know, like these office panels where you've got these things, the panels just lowered into the ceiling, and it's like metal stuff, full ceilings. Yeah. And now you can put these things in, and the whole thing is an LED, is it? Is that how?
So basically, again, it's exactly the same principle. So basically, you've got a square of 600 by 600, for example.
Yeah.
And it's got for want of a better word, a plastic cover.
Yeah.
Yeah. And underneath the plastic cover, it's got a line, or a diffused plastic cover. It's got lots and lots of little LEDs on it. That's all it is. But what it is that diffuser, creates this even spread of light. So it gives the impression that the whole panel is actually an LED light bulb, but it's not. It's just made up of lots of little LEDs.
And you were talking about technology, like it's galloping ahead at the moment. All this stuff's made in China anyhow, but you've got stuff like movement sensors, so you can start to do.
I mean,
what was all that about?
The technology is moving ahead. There's something called Li-Fi, which is light bulbs creating a Wi-Fi connection for you.
Okay.
And it's and you can control the Wi-Fi, and you can control the light just by waving your arms through the air.
Yeah.
It's motion sensors. It's very minority report. There's a lot of that technology coming on board, and I would imagine in the next, it's been around and it's coming. But I would imagine in the next sort of 2 to 3 years, you're going to see a massive, and it's more to do with Wi-Fi and the things that you can do with Wi-Fi that light is helping.
Yeah.
Because what if you can imagine if everybody's got light bulbs all over the ceiling, and then you've got Wi-Fi all over the ceiling, and the Wi-Fi is stronger, quicker, more efficient, and the light is just a perfect partner for that, because you can put it into that frame.
So I bought what I paid for it. I've got off you a bulb which is like equivalent of like a 500 or 600 watt. It's a massive thing, but it's like on the surface of it, it's just like a load of little squares. And it's like when you look at it, you think, well, that's that. Is that some kind of like ray gun?
It does have to look like a ray gun. I agree with you. Yeah.
But like when you turn it on, it's like, wow, that is a pretty damn bright thing.
Yeah, they're called a corn lamp because, as you say, it's a big corn, and it's got lots of little yellow dots. It makes it look like a corn on the cob, to be honest.
Right.
But again, surface-mounted diodes. All that is just little LEDs all the way around that create a hell of a lot of light, and that equivalent to 500 watts.
But a lot less power being consumed.
50 watts, basically. So you're getting the same amount of light output. But it has to be that big because the heat, you have to be able to diffuse the heat and sink the heat off. That's what happens. That's why you need it slightly bigger. So
my fingers must be pretty busy, because you're talking about, what kind of savings are you talking about in terms of like someone that has a load of bulbs in their house? What's the percentage savings you're looking to make from that?
So in a domestic property, the savings are phenomenal in a domestic property, I have to be honest with you. You can save up to 90% of your lighting bill by swapping over. So if you've got the old style, and this is a one for everybody out there, if you've got the old style halogen light bulbs in your kitchen, in the downlights or in your spotlights, those little halogen ones that get exceptionally hot all the time.
You're sweating already over a stove.
Exactly, those, they are between 35 and 50 watts normally.
Right.
And we replace them with between 4 and 6 watts.
Right.
And the savings are phenomenal. So a normal 50 watt halogen will probably cost you about £20 a year if you ran it normally X amount of time, for 4 hours a day or something. Whereas an LED light bulb will probably cost you less than 90 pence to do exactly the same thing. So you're saving 20 times the amount. And if you imagine you've got 30 of them in your house, you can just imagine the savings. So guaranteed will save you money. Commercially speaking, there's more electrical implements in commercial buildings, photocopiers and computers, etc. But the savings are still between 40 and 60.
Well, the lights are also on all the time, aren't they? So and I suppose in all sorts, any building really. I mean, you're talking about churches, community centres, pubs, hotels. It's just like and
everybody's got light bulbs.
What's the penetration of LED technology in buildings? Would you say at the moment?
In commercially speaking, it's probably only about 8%, 8 to 9%.
It's a long way to go.
It's a long way to go in LED, and it's moving ahead leaps and bounds. And in the last in the last 3 or 4 years, it's gone on so much. Initially, when I first started in LED, you were getting 60 lumens, which is the light that it's giving you per watt. That's old style. Now you're getting something like 140 lumens per watt, and there are light bulbs out there, there are LEDs out there that are producing more than that, significantly.
Well, they always do, don't they? They just don't release them because they're going to...
Exactly. Just wait till you've bought into that technology. But it's a guaranteed tip. You're going to save money by changing the LED, and the payback's phenomenally quick. And I can't wait for the clocks to change when it gets dark again and everybody starts switching on the lights more.
Well, on that note, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Nice chatting to you.